Mountain Blade Warband is an RPG game where raiding and pillaging is so profitable, it's almost a crime to not do it. In Mountain Blade Warband, you have a bit of a backstory to say where your character came from, but other than that, what your character does and who they are completely up to you. At the beginning of the game, there is a mini combat tutorial, but after that, you're basically on your own to decide what you want to do and set your own goals. You could be a lord and take over land, or you could be a merchant and sell all sorts of goods like butters and oils. Or you could be a slaver, knocking people out, taking them as prisoners, and then selling them off to the highest bidder. It's really up to you what kind of playstyle you want to go for. The combat is a big part of this game, and it'll feel like you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and your opponent is a toddler in a wheelchair. They have no chance of really beating you in a fight, and they're not very smart. This sounds like it'd probably get boring, but the feeling of murdering everyone on the opposing team, and the remaining people on your side cheering, is kind of satisfying. It feels like they're not only celebrating the victory you've achieved, but also the achievement of how many people you're able to murder. The soldiers you have at the beginning of the game are usually peasants you hired from villages, so they are weaker than pretty much anything in the game. So you'd better hope that you can carry these useless veggie pickers, or else you better be content seeing everyone around you die. As you fight more with them though, they do get upgraded to better tiers of units and different unit types. So your average Joe could eventually become the most fearsome knight in the land. Or he could die in battle and never become anything other than a corpse. And that is the great thing about this game. You start with a band of awful, good-for-nothing farmers, and they either eventually learn how to wield swords, ride horses, and use bows, or they die. Another way of recruiting soldiers is in taverns in the big cities. Sometimes these places will have followers or mercenaries that you can recruit, and are usually ultimately better than the farmers you already have. Followers are similar to the playable character, in the sense that you can equip them with gear and also level up their stats. They give a unique flair to the game, because each of them have a personality and condone certain actions and also praise others. So some people don't like taking advantage of the poor peasants and hate nobles, while others only care about conquering their enemies. Mercenaries, on the other hand, have their own upgrade paths, and are usually much stronger than other factions' units, but they also cost way more to upkeep and hire. Mercenaries are usually a late game privilege that are great at replacing lost units quickly, with still quite experienced. The last way you can hire people is by knocking them out during combat, taking them prisoner, and then attempting to force them to join your side. A lot of the time, this does fail, and if you really can't be bothered, you can just sell them for a quick buck at a slaver. But if you are able to hire them, it can be a nice small boost to your strength of your army. As you play, you'll be able to manage a bigger army as the max cap and your income increases. And once you have a big army, nobody can really stop you from doing what you want. After you've gained a bit of fame in the lands, you may decide you want to go fight for a cause, whether that's your own or someone else's. The benefits of joining another faction rather than creating your own is that you'll have a lot of allies from the beginning and have the protection of them when you get into battles near them. You also get paid a nice amount of money, which usually helps with the upkeep of your army. You'll also be able to see the faction you join gain power and usually take over multiple cities that you may have the opportunity of acquiring. The only bad thing about joining another faction is the lack of control you have with it. Because they've already got a king, you don't really make the decisions. And if you take a city over by yourself, and the king decides that he deserves a 10th city just because he's king, he can kinda do that. This isn't likely to happen, but when it does, it feels like you just worked all week for a paycheck, and then your boss decides it's his paycheck now. Kinda just leaves you weak and broke. If you want a bit more control in the faction you join, you can help a claimant to claim the throne they say they got stolen from them. Every faction has one of these, so you can do this with every faction's claimant. Once you hit enough renown and finally track down the one you're looking for, you can declare war on the faction to help them fight for their throne, with succeeding granting you marshalship, and failing leaving you in a prison cell alone. Becoming a marshal is possible by joining another faction as well, and working your way up, but you always run the risk of losing it to another lord, and the work it takes is just a bit too much. This way not only do you get the marshalship granted instantly, but it's permanent, so you don't have to try to maintain it. With marshalship, you get the benefit of commanding the other lords in the faction to join up with you and fight whichever battles you want, allowing you to take places over much quicker than the AI can react. You still run the risk of the ruler deciding you don't deserve the city you just took over for them, but being able to choose who to go for means the faction gets more anyways, meaning you also usually get more. The third option is your own faction. This gives you full autonomy, and in most ways is just better. How you become your own faction is by taking a castle or town over from another faction. This has many benefits, but also comes with many struggles you have to overcome. Firstly, once you're your own faction, every other ruler will look down on you as they feel like you are undeserving of ruling this continent, as well as the faction who you stole property from being angry at you and declaring war on you to reclaim their land. Unless you have a massive army or the faction you just attacked is very weak, you will not probably hold on to this for long. The AI will react extremely swiftly and usually will retake the fort or city in less than a week, so starting off is actually quite a big strategic decision. If you are able to hold the land you just took over, you must make even more decisions. Firstly, what do you want your followers to do? This section of the game is the main use for them, and they can do many things. They can spread the word of your ambitions of taking over everywhere, and spread the propaganda that you'll be a great and fair ruler. They can also become a minister, helping you with your political actions such as war and peace, as well as controlling how you manage your faction. The last thing you can do is give a follower a piece of land and allow them to become a vassal, allowing more armies in your faction. By doing this, you will increase the strength of your faction, but you will also get less money because you just gave them a little piece of land. After you start conquering more land and become more powerful, lords from other factions will see this and come and ask to join you, granting your faction more power. After you get ruling a bit, nothing can really stop you from conquering the world. Although you can do other things like trading and stuff, combat is definitely the main appeal of the game, and is the easiest way to achieve your goals. Warband is a fun single-player game, and even though the graphics are a bit like Play-Doh, you do get used to it quickly, and it isn't a big deal as the content in the game makes up for it. With Bannerlord finally about to be released, after years of waiting, it is a great time to pick up this game, and it isn't actually that expensive anyway. Okay, bye.